concentric circles of racial and cultural affiliation. Beginning at the center, Jamaica, he sings, because if you come from Clarendon, or if you come from Portland, or if you come from Westmoreland, you're an African. Clarendon, Westmoreland, and Portland are selected, I believe, because they represent different points on the compass. Portland to the east, Westmoreland to the west, and Clarendon somewhat central. And the waves of racial, cultural, transnational affiliation expand to the wider Caribbean. If you come from Trinidad, if you come from Nassau, if you come from Cuba, you're an African. My selector, track 4 now of the other one. Trinidadian Calypsonian Lord Laro, who has lived in Jamaica for over 4 decades, sings of scattered Africa in Garvey's philosophy. This song comes from his 1999 CD Family Tree. And in telephone conversation, he told me that no producer would take on the CD because of its political charge. And he acknowledges 2 streams of lyrics in his repertoire: jump up party vibes versus sit down to listen. Working in the tourist industry as an entertainer, he's forced to suppress the philosophical songs and give the tourists what they want. So in this song, Garvey's philosophy, he says, imagine an African kingdom with 800 million, and His Majesty black and nice like me, thick lip and kinky hair, beside the Queen of Ethiopia. Do you know what that means to black man's self-esteem? I make no apologies for Garvey's philosophies, that there will be a change in the history of the West Indies, that we, the sons and daughters of Africa who have suffered in this place, shall be the instrument to unite the scattered race. Paying tribute to the legacy of Pan-Africanism bequeathed to us by Marcus Garvey, Lord Laro, like Peter Tosh, sings of race pride, a good old-fashioned concept that needs to be reclaimed. Now, moving from the politics of location, Tosh addresses phenotypic differences between Africans across the globe. Now, mind your complexion. There is no rejection. You're an African. Because if your plexion, your complexion high, or if your plexion low, or if your plexion in between, you're an African. Now, the complexion rejection rhyme contrasts the exclusionary racial politics of some white races with the inclusionary discourse of many Africanists. In addition, though Tosh seems to establish a hierarchy of high, low, and in-between complexions, it is the very notion of hierarchy that is being contested. Whatever the physical manifestation of Africanness in terms of skin color, there is a rooted cultural identity that transcends the physical. And on this score, I must confess, I feel very little sympathy for those in-between racial types who refuse to claim what is perceived as a limiting unitary African identity. These new tragic mulattoes, victims of an old-fashioned Euro-American racism that masquerades as newly fashioned cultural theory, de-race and erase themselves. They fail to acknowledge the complexity of complexion that Peter Tosh so effortlessly celebrates. There is no rejection of mixed-race people from the category African. Whosoever will may come. Furthermore, Tosh, in affirming the equal value of high, low, and in-between complexions, challenges the neocolonial racial politics in Jamaica that conventionally defines melanin-rich skin as low color and melanin-deficient skin as high color. The pernicious consequences of this devaluation of Africanness are particularly felt by women. For many African diasporan women, the politics of beauty is complicated by racism. Unlike our African sisters, for whom beauty was traditionally defined in indigenous terms, and I have to say traditionally because things have changed there, Many African women in the diaspora are judged by standards of beauty based on non-African phenotypes. Faced with these marks of erasure, many African diasporan women have had to settle for being sexy instead of beautiful. There's an old Guyanese joke about an African Guyanese entrant in a national beauty contest in the mid-60s. The unsuccessful beauty contestant is alleged to have responded thus to a malicious question about how she fared in the competition. For figure and face, I ain't met no place, but for Bobby and ass, I bust their ass. I don't think I need to translate that. No, not all African diasporan women share the confidence of this contestant. There's a disturbing trend in the Caribbean today for black women to bleach their skin in an attempt to approximate the standards of Euro-American ideal beauty. This bleaching of the skin, usually only of the face and neck, is an obvious attempt to partially disguise the racial identity of the subject. The mask of lightness, however dangerous in medical terms, becomes a therapeutic signifier of status in a racist society that still privileges melanin deficiency as a sign of beauty. And it is not only women who feel obliged to wear the mask. In December 1999, UWI students at the Caribbean Institute of Media and Communication hosted a public showing in the Mona Common community of a video on skin bleaching that they had made based on interviews with residents. In the discussion period that followed, a young man, Ramos, who had been featured in the video entitled Loving the Skin I'm In, acknowledged the fact that bleaching was harmful to the skin and said he was planning to stop. But he's a DJ who knows the value of looking good on his own terms. Let me recount his explanation, not quite verbatim, but as best as I can recall it, for why he would continue to bleach for a little while longer. Christmas a come, and me have to look good. Me I go and bleach. And when you see me ready for go out, me I go put on one long sleeve Gansey and wear my cap, and then we think I want brown in a come through. So, Christmas is coming and I have to look good. So I'll continue bleaching, and when I'm ready to go out, I'll put on a long sleeve shirt and wear a cap, and they will think it's a browning coming through. Browning is colloquialism for mixed race person. I had to disabuse him of that fantasy. No one I told him would mistake him for a browning. And in any case, he needed to look in the mirror and see that he was perfectly handsome as a black person. Now, in retrospect, I do seriously wonder about the appropriateness of my intended reprimand to my skin bleaching DJ. Not just the issue of my bad manners in pointing out the obvious, but more so the haunting question of whether or not the young man's understanding of what he was doing was much more sophisticated than I was then willing to allow. For me, what remains so fascinating in this young man's narrative is his rather practical sense of seasonal brownness. He knew that being brown, however achieved, was not really an essential part of his identity. Light skin color was a fashion accessory that would stand him in good stead during the festive season. Somewhat like the bright lights that decorate the Christmas landscape, light skin color, however fleeting, would give the DJ added visibility. This metaphor underscores both the elements of fantasy as well as a conscious awareness of role play that are so subtly intertwined in the dancehall discourse of desire. Furthermore, the DJ's metaphor of coming through signals his conception of the color line as a barrier that must be literally breached so that he can become socially visible. And it takes a lot of cunning and Nancy style to make the breakthrough possible. Rupturing categories, role play thus both emancipates and imprisons the real self. And then